Yo, YouTube. Today we're going to talk about what I think Rogue Company needs to do to be great. First off, let me preface this by saying Rogue Company is my favorite game. I play it casually, I play it competitively, I play it every day. I think the core gameplay is beautiful. I fucking love the game. It's my favorite game. But I think the game is vastly underperforming. I think the game's viewership is a lot lower than it can be. I think the game's player base is a lot smaller than it can be. I think the game just has so much potential, so much untapped potential, and I think it could be a very, very successful game. And I want to talk about what I think what I think Rogue Company needs to do to be great. First off, like I said in number one right here, is the list isn't about the balancing of the rogues and stuff like that. I don't really think that's what's holding the game back currently. They can always do a better job at times of, nerfing overpowered stuff and buffing stuff that's underpowered. But I think they do pretty well with that. I think almost every rogue is viable and it's pretty balanced. And that's not what this is about. This is about general stuff for the game that I think could make it a lot better, casually and competitively. And first off, we're going to start out with the spectator mode. I don't know if you guys have watched any tournaments on this game where they use spectator mode. But it's just janky, man. Straight up. There's not even like one little thing I could point out. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look crispy. And if you want it to be a successful competitive game especially, you need that spectator mode to look a lot nicer, and they need to polish it up, and I hope they do. We'll move on from that quick, though, because there's really not much else that needs to be said about that. I think there's a lot of glitches in the game. It's not I think. There is a lot of glitches in the game, and some of them are very annoying and can have a big impact on the game, and they need to be fixed, and they need to be fixed a lot quicker, hopefully in the future. Basically, right now, if you have a spectator in your game, there's a glitch where you can't see one of your teammates on the mini map, and during competitive like tournaments and stuff, that can really be annoying, man. Not knowing where your teammate is on the mini map can really throw you off and honestly cost you rounds. And honestly, even more of a game-breaking bug, and something that's even more important that really needs to get fixed, is the bug where you can't defuse the bombs. Sometimes, for some odd reason, the bomb is like floating, and you go up to press defuse, and it just doesn't let you defuse it. Sometimes it'll let your teammate defuse it, but not you. But it can cost you rounds in competitive when you go up to defuse, and you just can't defuse the bomb. Needs to be fixed. That's like priority number one, in my opinion, for what needs to be fixed. Since we're staying on this bug talk for Rogue Company, we'll talk about the audio bug with the melees. I don't know if you guys have ever played Rogue Company, but if you have, I'm sure you've heard it. It's where when someone throws a melee, I don't know what triggers it or what happens, but it just makes a crazy, loud, banging, repeated smack. I can't even explain it. It's just like it just is so loud, so obnoxious. It's so annoying, and the only way to stop it is by picking the melee up off the ground, and it just needs to be fixed, man. It's you just can't have stuff like that when you're trying to have a polished game that is going to become really, really successful. Like, the small bugs and stuff can't be so annoying and game breaking, and they need to get fixed a lot quicker, and I hope they do get fixed. Another small thing that actually adds up and is kind of a big deal in my opinion is the settings. Like, for me, every day I get on, and my settings aren't saved from yesterday, even though I pressed a button to save the settings. So I have to redo my settings every single time. It doesn't take long. It's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, like, it's annoying, and small things like that add up, and they should have that fixed to where like your settings actually save. You don't have to worry about changing your settings and stuff. Like that just needs to be fixed. I think this is a big one too. Allowing us to go into custom games alone. I don't know why you have to go in with a friend or with someone else. I would love to go in and go over nade spots by myself and just be a nerd, but I have to have someone with me, and it's just kind of annoying. I really hope they change that and allow us, or like, let us bring a bot in on the other team against us or something. Just allow us to be able to go into custom games, matches alone, so we can test stuff out ourselves. That would be really, really helpful. I think this would be good for competitive as well, allowing us to change the settings of the game in custom games, so we can like change how many rounds there are in demolition. We could change the timers. I just don't see how we could go wrong with giving us more options to like change things. Maybe like the rule sets would be different for competitive if we had more options. People could do fun tournaments with changing the times and the rounds and everything. Like, just why not? It's just nothing bad could come from giving us the option to do stuff like that. Now I think this is a big one, not only for like competitive, just for the game in general. Giving us a leaderboard. I don't know how it would work, if it would be like a leaderboards for all of the rogues and how many kills people have with the rogues, and or like leaderboards for game modes, or both. But if there's leaderboards in Rogue Company, that gives people something to grind for. Right now, what do people really have to grind for if you play the game casually? Mastery of every rogue, arms dealer event, battle pass, which the battle pass is only 50 tiers each time, which is not that hard to grind out. There needs to be more to grind for, in my opinion. There just needs to be more to grind for. And I think a leaderboard would give us more to grind for. I think a leaderboard where we could also compare our stats to our friends. We could see all of our friends' list, their time played, how many kills they have with each rogues, and how many kills they have in each category. It's just fun. It gives us something to compare ourselves to and something to grind for. You know, trying to be like the most kills in the world, or have like the most kills out of all of our friends with a certain rogue. Like, you just can't go wrong with that, man. You really can't. Also, you know, CMG's been trying to add CMG's adding strikeout to competitive, which in my opinion is a bit weird, considering strikeout's always been a thing, and they're just now adding it to tournaments. Especially when King of the Hill is going to come out soon, and people say King of the Hill is a much more competitive game mode than strikeout. So if King of the Hill is really so great and everyone loves it so much, add it to custom games, and then that way, you know, it could be put into competitive tournaments and stuff like that, so we can play King of the Hill instead of strikeout. Another thing I would say is take out extraction. Like, honestly, who plays extraction? I like barely ever play it. I don't know anyone that plays extraction. I just feel like it's kind of a dead game mode, and just replace it with CTF or King of the Hill, and just get it out of there. I just even sabotage, in my opinion, is much better than extraction. And you know, you want your core game modes to be really fun and really enjoyable, and I just don't think extraction's that great personally. And now for a small thing they could change that would really also be helpful is in custom games. Basically right now, if you're in a custom games lobby and you're hosted up and you try to invite someone, their name like won't show up, or you like won't be allowed to invite them if they're in a lobby with anyone else besides themselves. So it's just really annoying, like especially when people aren't used to playing tournaments. Like, they don't know that you have to be in a lobby by yourself to get invited. And yeah, it would just make things a lot quicker if you could be invited while you're in a lobby with your friends. Like, I don't know, it just would be a lot easier. So I feel like you should just be able to invite anyone no matter what. And this one, the last thing for me on what Rogue Company needs to do to be great. Bit controversial, definitely a bit controversial, but it's a hot take for me, and it's something I stand by. Melees are ridiculously overpowered. You know, the fact that they do 100 base damage and then you upgrade them once or twice and they can do 125 damage while being thrown, obviously, is crazy. They're not that hard to throw at people when you practice with them. They're really pretty easy. And the fact that I'm more confident with a melee in my hands running around a corner than with a gun, it just doesn't make sense. Like, they just need a nerf. They're fun to use. I like them in the game, but they're just too broken, man. My personal solution is they could go down to 4K again instead of 5K, but make the base damage 75. Base damage on melee should be 75. Fully upgraded, it should do 100. No melee should ever be able to do 125 throw damage. You shouldn't be able to kill someone that buys fucking a $12,000 perk in Headstrong with a melee. You just shouldn't be able to, man. And I still think melees could still be useful if they have a base damage of 75 and fully upgraded can do 100. They still could be useful. They won't be as good, but that's the thing. They need to be fair. They need to be balanced. And right now for competitive, they just aren't balanced. And I know a lot of this list was things that would make competitive better, but at the same time, a lot of the stuff I think would make the regular game better. Like, who plays extraction? I could be wrong. In the comments, feel free to let me know if you disagree with any of my takes. But I talked about a lot of game-breaking bugs. I talked about a leaderboard that would, be cool for everyone. I talked about game modes that I don't think are that good. Definitely some stuff for competitive, but overall, I feel like all the changes I put in here would make the game a lot better and, give the game a much better chance of growing. And I do think, like, one of the biggest things is just fixing some of those game-breaking bugs, because having a bunch of small, annoying bugs can really hold the game back from its true potential. But, nonetheless, I'm really excited for Season 2 of Rogue Company. I do like a lot of the changes that are coming. I'm really excited to play it. And, hopefully Rogue gets to where it really deserves to be, man. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning into the video. I appreciate you guys. I stream pretty much every single day at twitch.tv/King Prenade. Lots of Rogue Company, lots of all that. Link will be in the bio. Anyways, guys, have a good one. Peace.